talk about where can I find law school outlines. Now, in general, we recommend that you write your own outline. It's the process of outlining and going through your class notes and your supplements and condensing things and organizing them. This is how you really learn the law and understand the law at a very deep level, which makes it easy to apply it and do well on a law school exam. But the fact is, sometimes people just want other outlines. So when might you use other outlines, and how do you get those other outlines? So there's a few situations where you might want an outline from another student. The first is when you're really struggling to figure out what the heck the professor is talking about. Okay, so you go to class every day, you leave, you're even more confused than when you went into class. That happened to me quite a bit in law school. And sometimes it is helpful to have a law school outline from somebody who took that class with that professor, because it can help illuminate some concepts that you struggled with in class. It also is helpful if something caused you to miss class during the semester, so you have gaps in your class notes, you weren't able to fill those in, consulting a different outline can be helpful. And then lastly, it can be helpful if you're really worried about being called on. I had a professor who was scary and he would make everyone really nervous about calling on them. And so when I got my hands on an outline, which focused heavily on the class notes, it made me feel better because I could anticipate what I might be asked, and I could use that while I was on call. So those are some reasons that it's helpful to have law school outlines from other students. Now, what outlines where do you get these outlines, and what outlines should you use, what outlines shouldn't you use? The first resource to consult is your classmates and friends. Particularly if you're like a 1L, if you know 2Ls and 3Ls, they're often happy to give you their 1L outlines or whatever 1L outlines they received because you're not even competing with them. Sometimes you might find, unfortunately, that your classmates are more competitive and they're a little bit more leery to share their resources with you. But remember, keep in mind that you want to get an outline from the same professor in the same class. If you get an outline from the same class with a different professor than you're taking, that's not going to be nearly as helpful. You want one from the same professor that you're taking. Next, some law schools have outline banks, so there's actually a space for students to upload their outlines. You can ask your law school or your law library if they have that. Some do, a lot don't. It's just something to consider looking into. Lastly, there's sites online like Outline Depot, which have a ton of law school outlines of varying quality that are uploaded from different students. So you can consult with Outline Depot or a site like that. Some students ask, should I use commercial outlines? I don't typically recommend that you go out and buy a commercial outline because it's not going to be created by your professor, and they didn't take your class, so it's not going to be as useful as one of these other resources. It's not to say you can't consult a commercial outline, because sometimes it is nice to see how the law is organized, but I would not use that as the basis for what you study when you are studying for the final exam. And do I need to have law school outlines from 2 and 3Ls to succeed? Is this something that you need? No. During my 1L year, I didn't have any outlines from anybody. I just used my own outlines and my own class notes, and I was fine. In fact, I think it worked out really well because it really forced me to get good at the skill of outlining. When I was a 2L and 3L, I would get outlines from different people, and I also saw the benefit of having an outline to consult. But you do not need it. So if for some reason, maybe your professor is new or you're struggling to find an outline, don't worry about it. You can do fine even if you do not have an outline from a different person. So hopefully this helps, and hopefully you're able to get your hands on some good law school outlines if you need them.